Hello, fellow theme park builders, and welcome back to Coaster Island. Thank you so much for all the support recently on the channel. It is very greatly appreciated. I hope you are all enjoying the content thus far. We are nearly actually finished the park, so a full park tour will be coming along very shortly. There is still maybe a few episodes left throughout. Just to do some little touch-ups here and there of the park. There is to be done a lot of lighting is to be done because I haven't done too much nighttime work, and so that means I will have to go through at nighttime and do a lot of light work to make sure it looks good, because when we do the tour it's obviously going to be in real time and real weather, so it might go from day to night. Who knows? It depends how long the tour is going to take. It probably will take a little while because it's a big park and there's lots to see. So, bear with me while I fix all that stuff up. But today we aren't working on lights. Well, a little bit towards the end, but for the majority of the episode, we are working on the log flume ride. If you haven't watched episode 1, probably go ahead and watch that just to catch up a little bit and see how we built it and what we did and get all up to date with that. But for this episode we are working on the actual drop itself, making sure that looks all very detailed and nice and, you know, good to look at for when you're not just when you're on the ride, but also when you are looking up at the ride from the path, because that's also a big thing to look at as well. So we wanted to cover up the sides of it to make it look, because it's you can't change, it's a bit disappointing, you can't change the actual color of the inside of the ride. Otherwise I might have gone for like a brownish wood tone color just to blend it in a little bit with the mountain and the wood sides, but you can't change it. So on the outside it's orange and on the inside it's blue. So I was just trying my best to try and cover up the sides as much as possible, just because, yeah, it doesn't really fit, obviously, the theming of Western and Viking, because, you know, those colors aren't really too for natural for this sort of environment. So we sort of had to cover that up a bit, and I think it looks good. We also, yeah, add some rocks in the middle just to make it look a little bit more natural, and it's looking very nice. The automatic chain lift with the coal looks very good as well. Just here testing what it looks like actually, because I did do the building at the top. That also took a little bit to do because I had to sort of make that all nice and decorative. We had to obviously make sure that looked all nice as well, because you are going around it at a little bit of a slow pace, so we had to try and decorate that as well. But we did that off camera because it was a little bit tedious, a little bit annoying, wasn't very good to look at. But now we are finishing up the coaster station, so there's still one more. By the time this episode's finished, there's still one more bit to finish, and that is the roofing for the building, or the main roof just here on the left, that little raised area. So we do cover all the walls up and do all the detailing on the side, but we just don't finish that roof there. We'll do like a pitched iron roof just to make it blend in with the rest of the roof of the building. Then I also had a good idea to sort of do this part as a enclosed sort of dungeon or sewage type of area. I like these sort of the brick walls. It adds a nice texture to it, and so yeah, we do a little layout with the pieces to try and make it look a bit run down, and sort of that you're going through, yeah, maybe like the sewers or like an underground area. We cover all that up with obviously a roof and some detailing and put some lights in there, and it's really dark, which is obviously what we want when we do a bit of a dark experience for the ride. We might even add some animatronics in there as well, because I haven't done that, but I have, yeah, obviously put some barrels in, put some lanterns in there and crates and all that sort of stuff to make it look a little bit more detailed than what it actually is. I haven't done anything with the flooring. I'm not entirely sure if I should or not, because it is just obviously grass flooring. But maybe I'll go back and maybe even put these wood panels on the floor just to make it look a little bit more realistic rather than just having grass on the floor. But we do these for the roof as well because it looks really nice, and it adds just that bit of, you know, run down with the multiple wood pieces crossing each other, and we'll continue that all the way along as well because I think it looks nice, and it also goes with the wood and brick sort of vibe that I'm going for. Again, I don't know why you can't change the outsides of the color from blue, because yeah, we could make it like a dark color, but you know, that's okay. Is what it is. Maybe it'll come in a future update, who knows. But in the meantime, we are just covering up the front of it to make it look a little bit more realistic with the transition from brick to wood. So we place these along the sides just to, yeah, make it flow a little bit better. I'm not entirely sure what we'll do on top, or if we will do anything on top, because that's the queue line just there. But at the height of the people, you can't really see what's on the top of it anyway. So I don't think it's too much of an issue to do anything with it, but we'll see how we go, and we might end up changing it or adding things to it. Who knows? You know me, I always like to just keep adding things until it looks good. Just like the interior of this coaster station is it's not very detailed. So I'm just going through adding some beams just to make it look a little bit more realistic with the aspect of, you know, safety with the beams, and also just making it look a little bit more detailed with lighting, because like I said, the lighting in this game, phenomenal, and who knows what time it'll be when we get to this area of the park, because it's a massive park, so it might take a hot minute to get there. So that's pretty much the basic sort of layout and decorative for the station. We will now cover up this back end of the pathway and the queue station. So we'll cover up all the pathing and do a nice fence to make it obviously safe for the guests, and then also look good. This is sort of the edge of the park, or the sort of the edge of this area. So yeah, I've got to try and make it look a little bit better than what it is. But I think it looks good. We add a nice flooring, a wood flooring to. We probably could have changed. Well, now that I've done this, I look back at what we did to the bottom of it, because that's curved. I just added the square path to it to make it fit better with the wood and the building. So I probably should have just done that here instead of just leaving it round. But that's okay. You can't tell once the wood is there, which is, it's fine. So yeah, did a nice fence there, added some barrels. It's nothing too fancy, it's just for when you walk out of the station itself. So I just wanted something obviously to cover up the sides of the path and make it, you know, safe as well, because we are all about safety and we cannot be having guests roaming free and jumping off paths. So yeah, that's what I did. And yeah, here I am making it square. So I don't know why I didn't do that to the top of the path, but you know, I didn't. It's all right. But yeah, we'll wrap this around and connect it to the rocks as well. And then we also add in a nice little, just a couple beams to make it look like the rocks are being held up a little bit more structurally, because obviously it's western and there's going to be lots of beams and everything, wood everywhere. So it just did a little bit of, it wasn't a lot, but it still adds a lot at the same time, if that makes sense. It's not a lot, but it's a lot. I know I was rambling, but yeah, it just makes it look a little bit more natural than just having some rocks there, especially when there's people walking underneath it. You got to make sure it's structurally sound. And we also do the same fence along the outside of the queue line, just to make it obviously safe, because it is a bit of a drop there. So we got to make sure that there's the safety railing there. And then we just go through and finish off with some flaming lanterns I think they look quite nice, and it also goes with pirate Viking sort of Western theme to have fire as well, and that orange hue with the smoke and the light. So I think that looks good, and it incorporates obviously that theming which we're going for. But yeah, it's coming along quite nicely. I am trying to do more lights because yeah, well, I mean the entire park is pretty dark, but this area is quite dark because I haven't done too many lighting. So I tried my best to do a bit work in the lighting department, and I think it looks alright. I am covering up this side with the rocks just like we did on the start of the ride itself, just to try and make it look a little bit more natural, try and make it blend in a little bit more with the environment, rather than just having a blue and orange tube going around. We're sort of covering it up a little bit. Like I said, I wish we could change the color so then I wouldn't have to do it as much, but is what it is. Who knows? Maybe in the future there might be an update where you might be able to change the color of any ride, and that'll look a lot better because it wouldn't just be a blue floor, it would be like the same color as the rocks. So who knows, we might be able to, but for now I'm just covering up the sides of the ride and making it look a little bit more natural of a mountain, and it looks really nice, especially from the pathway. It's just a nice view to just, like, you can't actually see the ride, all you can see is the rocks, which is actually great. That's what I wanted. I sort of wanted it hidden, so all you can really see is the main ascent and descent, which is, yeah, how the ride goes. A lot of it is actually quite covered up, and we do a nice little another little tunnel as well, as the sort of as if the ride was there before. Sorry, the ride was there after the mountain was built, and they've sort of just cut through it and made that look a little bit more natural, because, you know, it's a rock mountain. It would take a lot of effort trying to sort out all the lighting. Obviously there is still a bit to go, but we make a start. I didn't want it to be too light, but I also wanted the main parts to be obviously well lit and focused. So a lot of the rock work will be lit up, but quite a lot of the ride will still be quite dim. I like it's the aquatic lights, but if you just color them brown, it resembles a mine light bulb shaft type vibe. Just these ones here, especially with the exposed wire around the bulb itself. I just think that looks quite, you know, Western, quite mine shaft type. So yeah, we add in a few of them throughout the park, or throughout the ride. We will add them throughout the park as well, because they are just a nice light. Yeah, so the lighting is coming along quite nice, but that's going to be it for this episode. I will leave it with a POV. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for the support on the channel recently. We've gained a few subscribers, the views are going off. So yeah, thank you very much. I greatly appreciate it, and I will see you in the next video. See ya.